Tuesday, March 18th, Sportswrap Overtime. Welcome in Craig Loper, James Catato, Brian Parsons, Jeff Snyder in the building. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. You see one new thing here we're doing with the Sportswrap OT topic timer. We're going to keep ourselves on time here with a good pace. We're going to do 7 minutes per topic, and we're starting, guys, with March Madness. Norfolk State men going dancing after a crazy few games in the MEAC tournament and that championship game, South Carolina State. Wow, 1-point win.
Yeah, they almost blew it, as Robert Jones said. This is March Madness to the 10th degree. I think is what he told us after the game.
9 with a minute to go, or was it 10? Did it get to 10 at some point?
Yeah, they hit some threes. South Carolina State hit some threes, and then they had the shot there to tie it up, and then inexplicably they lost track of the time of the game.
Yeah, I was. So they thought it was. Did they think they were down?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a weird.
And the player for
foul.
South Carolina State fouled Christian Ings.
It was so weird.
Only made one of the 2 free throws to add to make it a little more tense than it needed.
He made the first one, missed the second.
Yeah.
I was so confused live because I thought Ings and the kid naturally bumped. But then I watched the replay back that night, and I'm like, oh my God, he fouled him intentionally. That was crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
Unfortunate case, but fortunate for the Spartans who are back. First time in 3 years back in the tournament.
Fort Worth, Texas was the last time they played in the tournament. Baylor, I think #1 overall seed Baylor there that year. I was out there, but now James, this Norfolk State team, Robert Jones, Brian Moore, Christian Ings, you've been around them all season. We all have, but what do you think in terms of just the run they've been on throughout that MEAC tournament?
Well, it's the MEAC, and I know that Coach Jones was pretty irritated at the selection show on Sunday with the 16 seed, but they had 3 conference losses this year.
They're playing. We haven't established they're going to be playing Florida. In the first game, the #1 seed Florida Gators.
Yeah, out of the SEC
West region.
Yeah.
So Robert Jones felt they probably deserved a 15 seed. He didn't. He said it.
Yeah,
he was adamant that we deserve a 15 seed because of High Point and their seeding, and they beat High Point.
Yeah, let's break that down a little bit. So High Point, Norfolk State beat High Point by 13 earlier this year, right?
And then
at their place.
At their place.
High Point got a what seed?
They were a 13 seed.
They were a 13, and they play in the, what did we just say?
Big South, or the SoCon.
SoCon. No, wait, we forgot it. You said it, and then we messed it up.
Yeah.
SoCon, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. We were talking about it earlier, and we're like, wait, which conference is it again? Yeah, that's weird. That head-to-head like that.
But again, I think it boils down to the fact that every single game that they played that they won in the MEAC was pretty much very close.
Yeah, right.
Especially down the stretch. And then they lost 3 conference games.
Yeah.
And let's also be honest, too. The NCAA has never really given the HBCUs the proper respect that they deserve.
Sure. And Robert Jones has said that.
And that has been going on for a long time, and it's been going on for too long, quite frankly.
Yeah,
So
Robert Jones is aware of that.
I do want to point to this because I put Kyle Oakwood in this video because the last time that Norfolk State played Florida was in 2012 after they knocked off Missouri in that 15-2 game, and then they went on, and that Kyle Oakwood-led team played the Florida Gators.
Yeah.
The last time the Spartans and the Gators
I have
had in the NCAA tournament.
Correction, High Point of Big South.
Yeah, that's what we were going to say. We were like, we thought it was SoCon. Jeff, what's been your impressions from afar looking at Norfolk State this year? You seen anything stand out, or?
Well, it's always good to see one of our local teams make the tournament.
Right.
I know making the tournament is very hard. I know there's 68 teams, and they were able to. They had a great season. They had an excellent season. Robert Jones is one of the best coaches of a mid-major team in the country, and I'm actually surprised he's still even here.
Yeah.
Because he's just he just gets the most out of his players.
Yeah.
And I think he can do that now. Against Florida, we have to keep our expectations, reasonable because it's very rare for
once.
It's only happened.
It's happened twice.
Happened twice. It happened twice.
Fairleigh Dickinson beat Purdue, and of course Maryland. UMBC annihilated UVA by 20 points.
So what Coach Jones and Norfolk State are going to want to do is just play a clean game, play their game to the best that they can, and that it's really going to be a showcase for the program.
Oh yeah,
right.
Of course.
So this
6 o'clock game. I mean, against the #1 seed.
That's huge.
Little side note too on the Fairleigh Dickinson that beat Purdue.
Yeah,
their coach was Tobin Anderson, who left after that. He was a Division II coach for a long time.
Yes, he was.
And then he left Fairleigh Dickinson for Iona, who took over for Rick Pitino, and Tobin Anderson was fired.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, his point guard just left and went into the portal, and he was stunned. So
Wow.
Interesting.
It's all connected.
It really is. The 6 degrees of Fairleigh Dickinson.
Hey,
Yeah,
but
you're right though. It is a showcase.
Yeah.
So let me just say, like, so 3 years ago, last time Norfolk State men made the tournament, they went to Fort Worth, Texas, and they played in. I don't remember it was Baylor, and I don't remember the other teams in their region there. But I think Carolina was in it that year with them. Maybe Kansas. No, it was a crazy year. Big brands. I just remember big brands. I feel like it was Carolina, Kansas. And but it feels big when you go there. You that Thursday practice, all the cameras are there, the NCAA officials, all these basically TV markets show up because there's 4 different teams there, and they all practice kind of like back to back to back to back. So it feels big in that moment, and that's great for these guys. It's great for Robert Jones. Win or lose, you can kind of live on this, forever. You can say, hey, I made the tournament in my college basketball career and did it proudly for Norfolk State.
Well, Phil Eanes made the point, too, on Sunday. He said, yeah, we're not super thrilled with the seeding of being a 16, but the fact that we're even here in the first place is all that matters.
Yeah.
I do want to touch on the fact that Florida has a 7'9" center who didn't even have to get up on the ladder to cut the nets down.
I'm sorry.
7'9", no way.
Yeah, 7'9".
Get out of here.
I think his name was like Olivier Roux or
Does
something
he play?
like that. I don't think he gets a ton of minutes, but I think it's a cool talk.
Does he have like muscle or anything?
7'4".
He's 7. I think he's 7'9".
Florida. I'm sorry. This is
That just sounds almost impossible.
Yeah, he blew up when he was in middle school. Now he's on Florida.
Oh, he blew up all right.
Khalil Nadeem is going to have his work cut out for him if he has to cover that guy.
Is this the kid that used to go viral?
Yeah,
Did he end up at IMG?
Oh,
yeah, he was like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do. Man, he was like ultra skinny back in the day.
All those.
I think they called him praying mantis back in the day.
Oh,
there was another guy at IMG too who was just so tall and so lanky that he ended up just being, I think, paralyzed or something.
Was that guy on Real Sports?
7'9"?
Was that the guy that was on Real Sports?
I don't know if Real Sports.
I don't know.
I remember this kid. Yeah, okay.
Went viral. Yeah.
7'9" is insane.
He's huge.
But Norfolk State,
all right.
just the simple fact that they're in the NCAA tournament again.
Yes.
And the financial implications of what they get the unit.
Yeah.
In the MEAC, there's not many teams in the MEAC, and if it's all up to the conference what they want to do with that money. And Norfolk State could get the lion's share of it, or they could split it equally amongst the teams in the MEAC. But it's not like it's a 16-team league. There's not that many teams in the MEAC, so that is.
You know the number? Me and the intern John looked it up a couple weeks ago when we were driving to a high school game, and I cannot remember.
I believe it's like 1.5 million.
I was going to say 2. Yeah, I was going to say it might be. I think it might be 2, which is crazy. I've always, and they don't care to hear this, but I always felt like in 2021 when Norfolk State made the tournament, they made the playing game and they beat App, and then they got 2 units.
Yeah, they did.
So
in
a way you
game
kind of
is
want
a unit.
You want the play-in game. Obviously, they don't.
Our topic timer ran out.
It did. So when we come back, we're going to stay with Norfolk State, but we're going to talk about the women who are also going dancing. Welcome back, Sports Wrap Overtime. We are talking about our local teams going dancing this year. Only one men's team going dancing. We just talked about the Norfolk State men. Now we're going to talk about the Norfolk State women. What a season they've had.
Sensational.
Yeah. College Park, Maryland. Here they come. The Spartans up against the Terrapins. 4 and a 13. A 13 is impressive. Highest seed in program history. Larry Vickers and that team. Wow. Juggernaut. I've been using the phrase juggernaut all year. Truly a juggernaut this year at their level.
Yeah, I mean, they've been talking about, especially for the past month and a half, how they wanted to be established as one of the better HBCUs, to ever really lace them up in men's or women's basketball. And just based on pure record, they're right there. They have 2 very quality wins over SEC schools.
Crazy.
The only time they got blown out this year was against North Carolina.
Yep.
And they've played every single mid-major, either won their games or played them tough. Their only 2 mid-major losses were to Washington State and Green Bay, which they've said multiple times they want those games back because that Puerto Rico trip was a lot for them. But they're a really talented team.
And Maryland obviously is going to be a favorite in this game. In fact, they are 15.5-point favorites to win the game. So it's under 20.
Yeah.
No MEAC team has ever won an NCAA. No MEAC women's team has won an NCAA tournament game other than one of those 16-16 play-in games.
Okay.
And so Norfolk State is shooting for a lot of history here.
Legacy.
Yeah, I wonder what the crowd will be like up there. I don't know what the fanfare is for Maryland women's basketball, but it's in College Park. It's a proud basketball program, men and women, I think.
The other piece, too, and they lamented on this on Selection Sunday, not having to fly to Palo Alto, California this year,
right.
and not having to go across the country, switch time zones, taking a very short bus ride to College Park. Diamond Johnson said, we've been up to, that area multiple times to play Coppin State, right? So they know that area. Look at them after getting the 13
great
seeds
video.
So they have a great opportunity here to be able to be on fresh legs, not have to travel a ton, and have a pretty solid base behind them that can travel up to College Park.
Yeah, a lot of times when a team will get rewarded with like a 13 seed like that, for example, they will it would be a situation where they ship them out west to give them the 13 seed, but if they were to keep them east, then they would be a 14 seed or something like that. So this is quite a coup for Coach Larry Vickers to have such a high seed and a winnable game, an actual winnable shot with Diamond Johnson and Mimi Wheeler. There's Diamond there, the MEAC Player of the Year, right? When did she win the MEAC Player of the Year?
And then Mimi won the conference tournament.
She was a beast in the games that I was at. They're a fantastic team. And to watch them roll through the MEAC like they did.
The consistency from Mimi and Diamond, really, just every game, you can almost expect like 15 to 20 points out of either one of them. Yeah, every game. It feels like every game, every box score we look at, it's like every game, they're so consistent. They lean on those two so much.
How chill is Larry Vickers?
Yeah, he's great.
There he is. Look at him yawning. I didn't even know that was coming.
He yawned. Another NCAA.
Diamond's chill too.
He is.
They all are.
But I think the tone is set with the man in charge, and they love playing for him.
3 in a row.
3 in a row.
Yeah.
This is the question where we'd have to have Larry on, and I don't think we've ever asked really Larry directly in the way we have with Robert Jones in the past, or at least he doesn't talk about it as much. But what are the chances? You win 3 MEAC titles in a row. You go to 3 double NCAA tournaments. Like, who calls next? And does he take something like that? Is that a possibility? I don't know his contract situation.
Yeah, right.
When does that begin?
Money talks, right?
It always
Everybody's
talks.
got a price.
Now Norfolk State was expected, heavily favored to win the MEAC tournament.
Right.
And they did.
Yeah. And they ran the table and beat everybody.
In Williamsburg, we had another team from the area that was not expected to make a run that made history.
Right.
And we're talking about
William and Mary. Are we going to that? The topic timer was still rolling.
Yeah, we still had 4 minutes.
I thought that was part of the whole women's.
No, we were going to do 3. We were going to do a separate topic.
We were going to talk about Norfolk State women for 7 minutes,
we can roll William and Mary.
We can just go into it.
But be on the lookout, Larry. Just again, he deserves some looks. Is what I'm saying. That's all I was saying.
I think they can win.
I think they can win too.
I think the relaxed mentality you guys mentioned is going to be huge in this.
Huge.
It's going to be huge because they're going in there with nothing to lose, right? You are a 13 seed playing against a pretty established college basketball program in Maryland, in College Park, the spring break capital of the Northeast. So,
is it really?
The University of Maryland women's basketball team is a proud program.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very proud program.
Yeah. Absolutely. They have a ton of fans, a ton of following. So it's going to be a little bit of a hostile environment for them.
Right.
But this relaxed mentality is going to help them get through this. And I think they could play Maryland pretty close here.
I do want to add something. We're talking about hostile away environments. I don't think anything's going to be, crazier than Stanford was with one of the top 10 picks in that draft that year with Cameron Brink. They were loaded, and you're in their
And it was
house.
Tara Vanderveer's last year.
Tara Vanderveer's last year, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if these players have seen a hostile environment, probably more than what they're going to see this weekend. And the other thing I want to add too.
I don't know, Maryland, man.
I agree with you.
That's hostile.
I agree with you.
Stanford's national champs, though.
I think Maryland is one in that.
Oh, they won? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I want to add this
The
point,
player
though.
from Virginia was a big star on that team.
The one thing that
Harrisonburg.
they don't get enough credit for is how deep they are, this Norfolk State team.
Yeah.
Right? You have Anjanae Richardson, who is only a sophomore that can come in and can dump in 12, 13 points for you. You have Nia Fields. You have Debria Clark. And they all play really good defense.
Yeah.
Diamond Johnson's top 5 in the nation in steals per game.
Yeah.
They play really good defense, and they're really fast.
Naya's kind of the forgotten piece, too.
One thing they can't do, though, and we've all seen it throughout this year, you could be in the second quarter of them against last place Coppin State.
Yeah.
And they could be down by 8.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
Go
of course,
cold.
but then they win by 30.
Offensively, they
So
would
they cannot afford to get off to a slow start against the University of Maryland.
No.
The thing with all of our local teams, considering that they're in the mid-major pocket, is pretty much all of them have to be close to perfect, if not, if you're going to knock off a Power 5 school, you got
close to perfect,
Correct.
perfect, and then the other team, might have a little bit of off night shooting the ball.
Well,
right?
I remember a few years ago when UVA lost to the 16 seeded UMBC. They played the worst game they possibly could have played, and UMBC
made
played
like
a perfect game.
Didn't they make like 23s?
They lost by 20 points. UVA got blown out.
Exactly.
Wasn't even close.
Wasn't even. That is crazy.
Run out of the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that shows if you play your game
Yeah.
and if you execute, anything can happen. That's the beauty of March Madness.
Yeah.
Now, on the women's side, the game has always kind of been a little more, I'd say, the gap in talent's always kind of been larger, but that's been closing up the last few years.
That's why it's huge that they have a 13 seed and not a 15.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's why that matters.
Jeff, you're big. You're the responsible in the wavy office for all the brackets. How's all that going? You getting submissions? And Did I miss the email? I was unplugged all weekend. I was 3-day weekend. I was moving for most of it. Did you send the email out?
Email's out.
Okay.
Grab your nitroglycerin pills. We're going.
Yeah,
That's your phrase.
We'll give our picks after the break here, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to talk William and Mary women's basketball after the break here. So stay tuned. Welcome back, Sportswrap Overtime. We're talking NCAA tournaments. We already talked Norfolk State men. We talked Norfolk State women. Now, this is a special one. William and Mary, for the first time ever in school history, one of the oldest colleges in the nation.
It's only the second oldest in the country. That's
no big deal.
How long they been playing women's basketball?
Basketball in general.
Literally
seasons.
baskets.
Yeah. Baskets. Right.
James Naismith was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going dancing for the first time. And
9 seed.
9 seed in the CAA.
and they waited.
Ran the table.
How many games did they win? What was the stretch? 5 and
4
5
in 4 days?
4 and 4 days.
4 and 4
Also,
days.
to answer your question, because I asked yesterday, 119 seasons of William and Mary
Okay,
basketball.
thank you.
119 of women's basketball.
105 of women's basketball, 119 of
That is
basketball on campus.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Erin Dickerson Davis, the head coach, what an amazing job she did.
Yeah.
Amazing to get we're talking big stuff here.
Crazy.
Yeah. Look at how big this was for the fans.
Oh yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
This
So
was
they had
when they came back from DC.
Yep.
Right. So the little 2-hour drive for them.
2-hour drive.
Yeah.
Came back yesterday.
I think we were trying to see, did they, James, the outside shot is coming up, right? With them walking in?
I just wanted to get the trophy.
Oh, okay.
first, but
All right,
yeah,
there we go.
Aaron
There's coach.
Look how many people are there for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's this, all the stars aligned and they got it done and they played great. And when you do something for the first time in school history, I mean, these people have been waiting a long time for something like this. And now they're at Kaplan Arena. They got it. Look at that. I mean, that's awesome.
That is so cool. And they beat the men to it. The men are one of 3 original NCAA 1 teams to not make the NCAA tournament, along with the Citadel and Army. So the women got it done. I mean, congratulations to them. It is so awesome. I'm so happy for them. Now it's you look at the past. I mean, Old Dominion, which had a very storied history. They won 17 consecutive CAA tournaments, 17 in a row. Yeah. They haven't been to the NCAA tournament since 2008. They went to the Sweet 16, but since then, Hampton women have gone 6 times. Now William & Mary is going, and Norfolk State's been 3 times. So it's hard to believe we live in an era where the Old Dominion women's basketball team is.
Wait, say that again.
They've got
Hampton's
some work
been 6 times
since 2008.
And then who else? Norfolk State. You said
Third time, and then
then
now William & Mary.
William and Mary.
Yeah, since 2008.
Oh, since 2000. Okay, my bad. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and like you're saying, Old Dominion women's basketball used to be one of the premier teams in the country, and it's not that way anymore. The way women's basketball has changed so much.
Yeah.
But look at this.
This is about them, though.
Yeah, this is about William and
the
Mary.
tribe.
This is so cool.
And Bella Nascimento, too, dropping 33
There
points.
she is.
There she is. And 11
championship?
rebounds in the championship game.
Oh, my
As a
goodness.
guard, 20 of her 33 coming in the second
33
half.
points.
And I know they battled some injuries. We went out there and talked to them earlier in the season to do a feature on them, and they were doing okay. They were kind of struggling a little bit, but the injury bug had hit them, and whether or not they got healthy or not, but they went on a roll. And they made history in Williamsburg.
And they got High Point in a play-in of 16 seeds in
Okay.
Austin, Texas on Thursday. So they're on the way to Austin, Texas right now. Winner gets a crack at the top-seeded Longhorns in Austin.
Safe to say that will be the nicest gym William & Mary has played in all year.
Probably
If you've seen
ever.
Texas's new facility, that
It's
basketball they built it
ridiculous.
2 years
Yeah.
ago.
Moody Center.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's gorgeous.
Well, great job by
ridiculous.
William & Mary athletic director Brian Mann.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
great hire she was. What a great hire Brian Earl was for the
They're
basketball
on the
team.
up. Yeah, they are.
Yes, they are.
Brian Mann, when I met him, I think I was at his opening presser, or maybe not his opening presser, but I talked to him shortly after he got hired, and we had a conversation on the sideline of a football game. And he was the type of guy that gave me a sense like he could do it. He just had the aura of confidence and business-like approach and philosophical, and knew what he's looking for. And then it's just like the execution, obviously, the William Mary football team, proud program, sometimes up and down, sometimes they overachieve, sometimes they underachieve.
Perennial winners.
Yeah, but pretty much a great proud program, consistently winning. But yeah, I met him before and just always seemed like he was about it. And now for this to be validate his, hire there, which I guess a couple years ago she came on at this point. So
3rd or 4th season.
Yeah, something like that. So good for him. Good for them. Good for them.
Let's kind of talk generically about on the men's side. The 4 number ones are Auburn, Duke, Houston, and Florida.
Yeah.
Those are the 4 number 1 seeds.
Right.
Okay, so I did some research. It's like, what are the seeds that you don't want to get? And I've determined that you do not want, under any circumstance, to be a 9 seed. Mm-hmm. You think that's a pretty good seed, right?
8-9. So you're playing the 8-9, and then you're going straight into the 1.
Then you go straight to the 1 seed.
Yeah.
So only 8 9 seeds have ever made the Sweet 16.
That's crazy.
It's a wild stat.
8 9 seeds.
8-9 seeds.
27 11 seeds have made the Sweet 16.
Unbelievable.
22 12 seeds have made the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
So that tells me you're better off.
Yeah.
You do not want that 9 line. You do not want to be there. 16 8 seeds have made the Sweet 16.
So we're talking 12 and 11. Let's shout out McNeese State, who's got a 12 seed with Will Wade, and then let's shout out VCU, who's an 11 seed.
And then you know what they do? They do this all the time. McNeese State against Clemson. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the head coach of McNeese State?
That would be Will Wade.
Where did Will Wade go to college?
Yeah, he went to Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they always
I
do
love it.
this?
Storylines,
They
March
always
Madness.
do this.
Yeah.
The best.
No.
But Brad Brownell, if there's rumors that he could go to Indiana.
And Clemson's open, and Will Wade
Clemson
said,
could be
what
open.
was the latest report? Will Wade is turning down NC State, or he's not interested, not turning down.
Who knows if that was true? But the flight trackers, he's definitely in talks.
We talked about this briefly too, though. UVA is going to be looking for a head coach too. I mean,
I think that's going to be Ryan Odom from VCU.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Because his father was a longtime assistant at UVA, a lot of ties.
It's all about those connections and the ties, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then Virginia being the biggest tie, just keep some guy in state and just send him right up the road, I guess.
I mean, Virginia Tech could end up being open.
Virginia Tech could end up being
Could
open.
be. I don't know. I don't know what they've got going on up there.
going to get out of there, or I mean,
They've kind of had a couple tough seasons.
Yeah. After that run, they won the tournament 2 years ago,
Yeah,
and
ACC.
then did they do anything in the big dance that year? Did they win 1 or 2?
I don't remember.
What was his name? Sean
Padula, who's now killing it for Ole Miss.
Oh God, he's at Ole Miss.
Yeah, he had that buzzer beater in the SEC tournament
my
against Arkansas that eliminated them. He's just doing the same thing he did back in Blacksburg.
Speaking of transfer portal, I was randomly had CBS on, I think, for the selection show, and they interviewed Patino, and Rick was saying like, I guess a couple of his Iona players from one of the 2 of those tournament teams, or one of those tournaments, he like transferred to Florida. And Rick Pitino said, "Yeah, I offered him $1,100 to stay at Iona, and they wouldn't take it." And I was like, "That's hilarious." But it goes to show you the transfer portal. Just guys end up somewhere, and then we kind of forget about it. Then they pop up on the radar. In March, you're like, "Oh, he was that guy from."
dude.
I remember that guy.
Unbelievable. There's so many stories.
It's a month that people can make a name for themselves forever.
Yeah, CJ. That's a good one. Let's end it on this. We got a minute and a half.
Yeah.
March Madness legends, people that we know basically because they went on a run of March. The number one obvious in terms of modern era.
Jack Golke.
I don't know. No, Steph Curry was where I was going. Steph Curry, Davidson, Elite 8 run.
Or even a team. How about Florida Gulf Coast?
Yeah.
People didn't even know
FGCU.
what that was.
Yeah.
And they went to the Sweet
No,
16
you're right.
with Dunk City.
It
Yeah,
depends. Yeah,
that was
the
fun.
team for sure, but then like they didn't have like a star that was
John
a guy.
Morant made a name for
Ja
himself.
Morant,
Ja Morant.
CJ McCollum, number 1, Lehigh beating
Yep.
Duke as a
Yep.
15. I was gonna say Zion, but Zion's a phenom anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's been a handful of guys. Jimmer Fredette, even to a certain degree.
He's
Shout out upstate New York,
The
baby.
pride of Glens Falls, New York.
I mean, he was scoring 40 all
he
season.
and Hacksaw Jim Duggan are the 2
Oh.
prides of Glens Falls in New York.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I love March Madness. A great time, right? So maybe one of our guys or gals becomes a star in this March Madness run and puts up a big game
cool.
or something.
Well, James for NC State.
Oh yeah,
Isaiah James, who
we
was
should have mentioned her. Yeah,
on the Wooden Award watch list. She's one of the final 15 on the Wooden Award list. So
They could win the national championship.
they really could, and
Yeah.
she's arguably the best player on the team.
no, yeah, she's great, and they're coming off a great year, so she has that not momentum from last year, but has the recognition as a brand. Like NC State is they've been respected, but
2
last year,
seed against Vermont this weekend in Raleigh.
yeah, and her cousin Giselle James plays for Princess Anne. We found
Yes,
that out a couple
we did.
weeks ago.
All right. Well, look at that. The topic timer's running out, and that's our last topic. So I guess we're done, boys.
All right, happy March.
See you next week.
See you next week.